So today's run marks 100 miles in the shoes that I've got on my feet, the Puma Deviate Nitro 3s, which I've been testing out for the last month. I think it's important to really put some miles into a daily trainer before you share your review here on YouTube. So that's what I've done. I haven't rushed this one, and I've been testing it across a wide range of activities. My name's Ben. If you're completely new to the channel, I've run 2:24 for the marathon and 14:42 over the 5k. So I'm at the speedy end of the spectrum. And again, I think that's important to share when it comes to shoe reviews. Everyone's different in the way they experience running shoes. And I myself am a midfoot striker, weighing around 60 to 62 kilos. That will give you a little bit more of an understanding of myself as a runner and what I've been using this shoe for over the last few months. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you what I've been using this shoe for over the last 100 miles. I'll go over some likes and dislikes, and finally, where does this sort of shoe fit into my rotation, as well as comparing it to maybe some competitors on the market. But before we get into today's review video, I just want to say a big thank you to ProDirect Running, who have provided the shoes for review and are my official running shoe retailer here in the UK. They ship some of the best running shoes on the market and often have colorways that are not available elsewhere. Quick, speedy delivery, which make them, my go-to when it comes to picking my next pair of running shoes. They've supported me for a number of years by providing me with shoes to make videos like today. So if you're looking to purchase your next pair of shoes, then consider shopping at ProDirect Running. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the Deviate 3 from Puma. It's the third iteration of this shoe, and I've tried the Deviate 1 and the 2. So I feel like I'm in good stead to give you a good honest review of this new version, which I'm just going to put out there is definitely the best daily trainer that I've tried from Puma. It is a daily trainer, more towards the sort of speedy end of the sort of running shoe spectrum, if you like, more tailored to those easy runs where you want to pick up the pace a little bit towards the end, maybe touch on a bit of tempo work and also do strides in. They can sort of handle a wide range of paces, which for me, when I'm looking for a running shoe, a daily running shoe, the two things I look for are versatility and comfort, and yeah, this shoe does both of those really, really well. I would also say this shoe sort of fits in the maximal cushioned daily trainer, maybe more medium to max, and it offers a lot of protection from the road, which again is something that I look for in a daily trainer, especially now I've started marathon training. On my easy days like today, I like to protect my legs so that tomorrow they should be nice and fresh, ready for my session. And they've also got a plate in them, which just offers a little bit of like poppy responsiveness in this shoe, which again is probably why it's tailored a little bit more to sort of faster running. For me, I use this shoe for paces anything from around 5 minutes per kilometre on my recovery days, all the way up to sort of like 3:30 per kilometre on my more tempo running days. And to be honest with you, it handles all those paces really well. It's one of those sort of like workhorse shoes you can put on, you know it's comfortable, and you can just get the miles and sort of just forget you even got the shoe on foot, which to be honest with you is exactly what you want for a daily shoe. So I'm back in my little studio setup here I have now at home. I plan to do a lot of shoe reviews in the coming weeks and months, so let me know in the comments what shoes you would like to see me review. But let's get on to the likes and dislikes of this shoe today, the Deviate 3 from Puma, and we'll start with my likes. And the main thing for me is this midsole. A big update from the previous version. I believe they now put some of their Nitro Elite foam that they previously only used in their racing day shoes. They've now put that into their daily trainers, which just mean that they've sort of elevated what their running shoes on the daily side can do. It's now a lot more versatile. Again, another big plus point. I can do my easy runs and my tempo work in this shoe, whereas previously the Deviate 2 for me was much more of an easy day shoe and it didn't quite handle the pace as well as this one does. So definitely that midsole, it's a lot more bouncy, the shoe overall is a lot more versatile, and the third like for this shoe is the grip. Exceptional grip, it has the Puma grip on the bottom. I did a wet park run in this, and my park run has a little bit off-road and it handled those conditions without any issues. It's also pretty good on the trail. I'd go as far to say this is probably the best daily trainer that I've got
in terms of grip. If you live here in the UK, especially in the summertime, you never know when the next shower is going to come. So yeah, the grip also is exceptional on this one. So moving on to my dislikes. Now there really isn't too many when it comes to this shoe, and it's probably why I've racked up so many miles in it in such a short period of time. I really have been getting on well with it. But there is a few things that stand out to me that I maybe would like to see improved in the next few versions. And the first is the weight. It weighs 260 grams in my UK 8, which isn't heavy, but it certainly isn't light. And I think if somebody was going to choose a race day option, maybe the weight of this shoe would put them off a little bit. For me, it's been perfect for those easy and tempo runs where I'm not really concerned about it. But I personally wouldn't pick this shoe as a race day option just because the weight is a little bit closer to sort of a daily trainer than a race day shoe. Another one of my qualms with this shoe is the name of it. It's called the Deviate 3, which is very similar to the carbon racing shoe version, the Deviate Elite 3. And also I've got a pair of them here. They look almost identical. So I've got a little bit of a worry that maybe people going into the store or their local running shop may want this shoe and end up buying the Elite because they just look so similar and have such a similar name. So I think in future iterations, it'd be great if we could see a little bit of a difference between the names, but again, you can't really mark a shoe down for that. But it is something just to note. This is the Deviate 3, which is more of the daily trainer, whereas the Elite 3 is more of a race day shoe. And the third point here in this sort of dislikes section of the video would just be how close this is now to the racing shoe from Puma. They've upgraded the midsole. They now have a carbon fiber plate. This is a real premium daily trainer, and I fear that maybe it's almost a little bit too close to the Elite, that people won't consider sort of upgrading to the Elite because they now have this shoe in their rotation. So it kind of reminds me of when Nike brought out the Peg Turbo. It was such a good shoe that people weren't really gonna purchase the Vaporfly. So maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing that this shoe is so versatile, but it just means it's a lot closer to sort of the carbon racing shoe options that Puma have, that people may not want to upgrade and spend that extra 45 quid. But again, you could see that as a positive. So on to where does it fit into my shoe rotation. I've mainly been using it for my easy runs and on those days where I want to pick up the last few kilometers, maybe a slight progression towards the end. I've also done a park run sort of tempo effort. I think I ran around 16:40 in this shoe, and it handled that sort of pace really well as well. And also because of the level of cushioning, it makes a decent long run shoe. So moving on to some competitors, where does this sort of fit in terms of what else is on the market? And the shoe that comes to mind first is this one, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. Again, very similar in terms of where these two shoes fit in my personal rotation. They've both got plates, they've both got quite a bouncy midsole. I would say maybe the Speed 4 is more suited to intervals and tempo work, whereas the Puma definitely feels a lot more comfortable at easy paces. So it's kind of the closest shoe that I could think of on the market in terms of comparison. And the other shoe that came to mind as sort of a direct sort of similar feeling is this one, the Gel Nimbus from Asics. Both these shoes have very maximal cushioning, so they have a similar sort of protective feel, but this Asics shoe I'd say has less of a sort of a need or a want to go fast. It's much more of an easy / recovery plodder than the Nitro Deviate 3. So yeah, in terms of where this shoe fits on the market, I think it's somewhere between a Saucony Endorphin Speed 4, which is an out-and-out interval tempo day shoe for me, and somewhere between the Asics Gel Nimbus, which is more of an easy, max cushioned daily plodder. At £150, it's pretty competitive, especially compared to the two shoes there behind me. It undercuts them by a little bit. So finally, on to a conclusion of the Deviate 3 from Puma. It's a great all-round shoe. I often will pick this shoe for my daily runs when I want to maybe pick up the pace a little bit towards the end. And because it has got that upgraded midsole from the previous version, it's now a lot more fun and more desirable for those sort of daily miles where you want to enjoy your running a little bit more. And also that carbon fiber plate in here really helps assist when you do pick up the pace. So yeah, a great shoe from Puma, super versatile. 150 quid as well, fairly reasonable in terms of the rest of the market, especially for a shoe that you can do a wide range of your training in. Just a reminder, if you want to pick it up, then you can do so at Pro Direct Running. I believe they've got 2 or 3 colorways of this shoe on their website now. But until next time, aspire to run, run to inspire, and we'll see you again soon.